Hi guys, welcome to art class. Today our learning target is I can draw a setting for my character by adding a horizon line, adding lots of details and information, and coloring the whole paper carefully. Last week we learned how to use basic shapes to draw the characters from our stories that you told me 2 weeks ago. This week what we're going to do is we're going to create a setting for our characters. A setting is where your character is or what's going on in the background. Settings are almost as important as the character itself. They can tell us just as much information, if not more information, than our character. They can tell us where the character is, things the character likes to do, what the character was doing before, during, or after the scene we're creating. Let's look at some pictures from some Pixar movies and see what information the setting can tell us. In this picture of Woody from Toy Story 4, we know from the character Woody that he is sitting, that he is relaxed by his facial expression and his body language. But what we don't know if we didn't have the background is where he was sitting. But from the setting, we know that he is sitting on a desk. We know that he's right by a window. We know that it's a nice day. So all of that information helps us understand what Woody is feeling at the moment and where he is. We also are able to see how big he is, because look how big that pencil cup is and those scissors are compared to him. Let's look at another example. This picture is from Monsters, Inc. So we see from the characters that Sully is happy and relaxed by his body language and his facial expression. And we know that Mike Wazowski, that's how you say it, he's at work, because he has his clipboard and his hard hat on, and we know that someone is doing something well because he has his thumb up and is smiling. But we wouldn't know what their workplace looks like if we didn't have the setting. So from the setting, we can see that it's kind of in a big warehouse building with a wall maybe made of metal. We also know that their work has something to do with doors and that they're trying to fill up those tanks. And from the setting, we can get, just from this picture alone, that these two work together maybe at that station. All of that information came from one picture. If you hadn't even seen the whole movie, you would be able to get that just from the setting, just from looking at the characters. So now that you know how important the setting is, in addition to the details you put on your character, I want you to create a setting for your character, or characters, depending on if you did too. Before we get started, you're going to need a piece of paper, your story, and something to draw with.
All right, so the first thing you need to do when you're drawing your cartoon setting is you need to pick where your horizon line is going to be. Now I'm going to use pencil for this because I need to erase some of my horizon line probably at some point. So my story takes place in the bathroom because we were tie-dyeing. So I'm going to pick my horizon line. You have to pick where you want it on your paper, and you also have to pick whether you want your paper portrait style or landscape. I want mine to be portrait style. I'm going to pick for my floor to be a little bit more than halfway up because a lot of what's happening we're sitting on the floor for. So your horizon line is just the place where the sky meets the land or the wall touches the floor. Your horizon line can also be like hills, or it can be mountains. Like, it doesn't have to be a straight flat line.
Let's check in with our learning target. Looks like we can cross the first one off the list because we made a horizon line. Now we need to work on adding more information.
So in my picture, I'm going to make the bathtub back here, and I'm not going to keep it exactly the same as the bathroom in my house because that's not the point of a setting. A setting is to tell a story. It's another way to tell that story. So I'm going to exaggerate some stuff. I'm going to make my bathtub with a big curved line because remember, we're just sticking with shapes. So it's just a half circle, right? And then I'm going to kind of make some flourishes later. And then I got to add a little clawfoot because I've always wanted a clawfoot tub. See, we're talking about one of the characters. I'm one of the characters in my story. I've always wanted a clawfoot tub, so I'm making it happen. I'm gonna put some art on the wall. So in my real bathroom, I have a lot of art on the wall. And it all says like, it's like a rubber ducky, and one of them says like fart, and one of them says let's roll with a toilet paper roll. I'm gonna do some big fancy frames. And this is gonna tell something about me too, because it talks about how I love art, and you all know I love art. But the viewers don't know that about me. So I'm just making really, really simple stuff happen right now. I'm not gonna make any over my bathtub because we want it to be waterproof over there. Gotta make my shower curtains right. Just using simple lines. We got the rings on top. It's okay if things overlap. Remember, it's okay if it's not perfect. We're just getting an idea of what our setting could look like. Okay, so we've got our shower curtain, we've got our bathtub. Now I need to make it look like there's some tie-dyeing t-shirt splatter going on. So I'm gonna put some splatters against the wall. Maybe some drips. And I would fix all of this later and, make it more detailed. But for right now, we're just kind of getting the idea. And I'm also gonna make maybe a t-shirt hanging over the edge because we're telling a story with the setting. So we have to kind of make it look dirty. Remember, a t-shirt is just a square with a neck cut out and two little squares going up. And I kind of made this kind of wrinkly so it looks like it's like folded over the tub edge. And maybe I'll make this drip too. Remember, we want to tell a story with our pictures. We don't want it to be generic. We want everything to be kind of exaggerated. So notice how I have big, huge drips going on here. And maybe I'm going to make a puddle on the floor too. And then I'm going to add all the little bottles of dye because we were tie-dyeing in my bathroom. And it became a total mess. So I'm gonna make some of the bottles full, some of them empty. And notice how I'm drawing them from different angles. Some of them are straight on and some of them are leaning, some of them are laying down. And I'm gonna make them kind of scattered around. And now I gotta add my tile for my floor. Now, to make tile, we're gonna use a 1-point perspective. We're gonna pretend that right here is my vanishing point, and I'm gonna have all of the lines go out from it like a ray of sunshine. And I'm gonna make them really small. Notice how I'm not really worrying right now about if everything is perfect. I'm just laying everything out. And this is what animators do too. They have a lot of rough sketches that they do first. What else can I do to make this look more like a disaster scene? I think I'm gonna add another t-shirt, oh, we had buckets too. I'm gonna add a bucket over here.
And it's gonna be full of water, and it's gonna be splashing around too.
Everything is splashing. Everything is messy because we have to exaggerate that because that's one of the feelings in the story is everything is messy. What else would be important? I don't really need to draw the rest of the bathroom, like the toilet and the sink, because you get the idea that we're in the bathroom from this. So maybe I'll do another t-shirt down here. But I'll make this one kind of crumpled up. I'm gonna make it so it looks like it's going back as well. So I made a rhombus, I believe that's called. I'll make it kind of wrinkled looking. I made my bathroom. That's where the setting is. The main idea, the main place where the action is happening is the tub because we were tie-dyeing. I showed a little bit of my character's personality with the drawing part of it, with the art on the wall and the big clawfoot tub, and I showed what was happening, that there had clearly been a mess made with all the bottles everywhere and the big drips and the splatter on the wall. So, the next thing I can use to tell my story is color. Now, this was also a really fun time, so I want to use big, bright colors. I'm going to stick to a warm color scheme because my bathroom, first of all, is pink, and I love it. But second of all, we were using yellow because it was a happy, happy time. I had so much fun, even though we made a total mess. I'm going to use orange because orange is also kind of a positive, happy color. It's right in between being really strong feelings of either happiness or anger. So it's right in the middle. So I'm going to use that as kind of like this exciting, glowing time. I'm also going to use red and pink, which is light red, because of the shock and the, oh my gosh, that we had destroyed the bathroom. But also because I loved doing this tie-dye. The other one, for fear that the bathroom was going to be a total wreck, I'm going to throw in a little bit of purple and see how that color contrasts and how my feelings were contrasting during that time. That's how I want you to think about your color. I want you to have a little bit of contrast if you had two different feelings. So if you were happy and upset, but your feelings changed, have some warm and some cool colors. But pick a side. I'm picking warm mostly and throwing in a little bit of cool. Think about your color choices. Why are you choosing the colors you are? If you were sad during that time, I would use a lot of cool colors.
The drawing we did today is just an outline of what you need to do. It's like the starting block. So what you need to do is take what we did today and run with it and follow the learning target. You need to add lots of information and details to your drawing, and you need to color the whole paper. I can't wait to see what you draw. I can't wait to think about how that adds to your story with you. Email me or message me if you have any questions. As always, happy art making.